Alright, so what's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of the In the Hot Seat podcast. And I do appreciate you listening to the podcast, whether you're listening to it on Spotify or wherever else you get your podcasts. I know as of right now, the In the Hot Seat podcast is basically on select platforms as of right now, but still looking to grow. And of course, I am on YouTube, so thank you for not only listening but also watching on YouTube as well. So with this one, basically a non-wrestling related episode of the podcast. I was gonna try and do this WrestleCade weekend, but a lot of things was happening at that time, so I didn't really get to. So I decided to actually do this solo style for myself. And with this one, just gonna basically wing it and do it the best I can. I know I am looking to actually go more in depth on another podcast at another time in January, so that would be definitely a little bit more different, talking about various other things besides myself on that, so just more kind of like advice in a way. So definitely be on the lookout for that when that episode gets to happen, and I'll try my best to maybe actually have it uploaded here as well from my end if I can do that at some point. That'd be really cool. But this one is basically more on my trans journey and everything, and how things came about. I know I touched bases a little bit on my main YouTube channel, which is Fort Minor Project. So if you're not too sure on who that is, it is actually me. That's my main account. That's where I came from. I've been on that account since 2006, believe it or not, which is crazy how long I've been on YouTube. And I wish I knew the things that I knew now, otherwise I would have been doing a lot more cooler things. But it is what it is, and it does happen. But I definitely have myself learning a lot more than I did then, so that's definitely for sure. But enough about that, and just getting into how I knew I was trans and everything, and how it came to be. I think I always knew, really, since at a young age, and just doing like little girly things like playing with my hair a certain way, or if I was eating something, I would do a certain thing with my hands and everything, just to like get it off my fingers and everything in a certain way. And I noticed that then I never really had the wording for it until after a long time, until I watched a movie a long time ago called The Danish Girl, and being able to see that for the first time, and seeing being what trans really is and everything, and just having more of a name to it definitely made more sense, and it actually felt like me. And I think that would actually be able to be transpired, to be able to see it, and to actually see it made a lot more sense. And seeing their struggles and how they've been able to find themselves and everything, whether it be just exploring with clothes, and being able to do that and trying things on and everything, and while being in a relationship with somebody else, and it took them a while to get to be able to accept themselves as well. That was definitely something to see. So definitely a really good movie. I do recommend it if you haven't seen it already. Definitely check it out. Definitely one of my favorites. Is something that basically helped me out more, and after that I was able to look on YouTube, look at videos and everything. So if you're searching, if you're thinking about it, then most likely you are trans. I learned to find out that way, and especially expressing yourself, whether it be through clothes or even being dared and stuff like that, to be able to try it and things like that at the time. Especially in high school too, I always knew that being more attracted to girls and everything. That's when I, in a way, knew something was definitely different with me. I didn't really exactly go to prom. I wish I did, and that would have been nice to be more as my true self, but I didn't get to, so kind of missed out on that. And then fast forwarding to going something similar to like that, going into a ball a long time ago, and the ball was nice and everything. It was really beautiful, and it was more for like anime and stuff like that, and being able to deal with that. It was like a Sailor Moon ball, so that was really cool. But being there, being in the suit just didn't really feel right, and I remember not liking it and being uncomfortable in it at the time. So I wasn't really feeling myself then, and wanting to be more dressed up and being able to deal with things that way. I remember feeling like envy and stuff too at the time, and which is never really good. So that's what I was basically feeling. Didn't realize what I was feeling exactly. Some things were able to get more cleared up until a lot more recently, and being able to deal with gender therapy, that definitely helps. I definitely recommend that, and being able to talk to someone is okay. I realize that, and they actually know things with you. They don't really exactly tell you who you are. You just kind of like figure it out on your own. They'll do like history stuff with you. They'll do all these cool belief sort of things, and to be able to help guide you basically is a more good way of putting it. That really has helped out a lot. So I do that about once a week. I do enjoy that, and then I go to the LGBTQ Center as well, even though it's online at the time, as of right now, for the time being, and I'm looking to be there in person very soon. I'm looking forward to that. They definitely talk with you about their experiences, us being able to see that more in real life. It actually does help out, especially with talking it out. That's also very useful and helpful as well. So doing a lot of research actually comes in handy, especially if you watch things like with movies and TV shows, or just doing regular research and everything does help. And definitely I recommend that too as well. So I'm not the best experience with it. I'm still learning as I'm going and everything. So whatever I'm trying to learn, hopefully it will help someone else too as well. I'm doing the best I can with that, so I'm trying to be more of a positive influence myself on that, and then been able to surround myself with good people. That definitely does help on that. And when I came out, it actually helped me be able to be more confident, especially like wearing the clothes. I never expected that to be able to help out with a boost of confidence and feeling more better with myself. So like especially like wearing the hat, makes me feel confident, makes me feel amazing and everything. So I like the way it feels, and it makes me feel like me, which is really good. Also with the chosen name, of being able to look that up, whether it be at a book or something that you inspired by. So far, Daphne feels really appropriate for me as of right now. Definitely Allison, I really like those two names for first name and the middle name, so like my last name. So we'll be keeping that, and most of you know me as David and everything, but I'm looking to go more as by Daphne, and that one just sticks out to me a lot more, and is more of a goddess type of name, learning the meaning of it. So I really enjoyed being able to learn the meaning of it, and I think it sticks really well with me as of right now. And in terms of pronouns, being able to learn about that, so far she, her, and they, them fit the most with me. I think that also represents me. It feels a lot more easier too, especially with others not really knowing how to pronounce me as, and especially so I feel like both of them, they, them is still pretty new to me, so I'm still getting used to that. But especially she, her, I feel like that especially means a lot and sounds a lot more appropriate for me and makes the most sense. So that definitely has been growing for me as well. So I do like that. I didn't really exactly know what else to actually be able to put into this episode. And since I'm still learning over time, so I want to say, I guess I always knew around like 5 or 10 or so. Again, for a long time, just didn't really know the meaning or have a name to it. Just, went with it and was just questioning all the time. At first, I thought, I was getting into men for a while, but I realized I was more into girls and everything. Not against dating guys. I even know I'm more queer too, as well, non-binary, and as well more so on the lesbian side. I do feel that a lot more definitely for sure that feels like representing me. And polyamory, definitely still learning about that, and I always felt like that was me, being able to date more than one person. I'm not against dating one person and one person only. So still new to me with that. So that the best in terms of being the most experienced with that, but over time, once I get more used to things with that and being able to explore that more better and get used to that, then hopefully I'll be able to talk about that more, and my experiences, since I didn't really experience too much and everything. I know sometimes there can be trauma and stuff like that, so you want to make sure you being able to date the right people with that and for it to work. So I haven't really had the best experience as of right now for me, so I can't really say far too much about polyamory, but I know I do like it and love it a lot, so that seems to sit well with me. With non-binary, I know I do enjoy women's clothes, and sometimes have the tomboy side, so a little bit of both. I do enjoy that, and that definitely feels to me a lot. And then like the lesbian side, of course, liking girls a lot more than guys. I always felt that way, and it still feels right to me. So that still definitely hasn't really changed at all, which is that I enjoy. So I can be very sapphic with that and everything. I always definitely felt that way, definitely for sure, but haven't really had a true lesbian relationship as of yet, but still getting myself out there in the dating world and getting used to that, and trying to have something more meaningful, which would be great one time, but learning to actually calm things down. I notice in terms like anxiety, especially social anxiety, has helped me out a lot, especially opening up more and being more honest with myself and being able to be more my true self. Definitely realized that I actually can talk, and have been being able to deal with a social life a little bit more easier now. So that's been cool, being able to socialize with other people, especially even if I just meet a friend. That's really cool. If I don't date anybody, then that's fine too. I always was the one to jump into relationships. Now I'm just learning to realize that being friends first is fine, and taking it slow and relaxing a little bit, and not rushing into things without trying to get hurt and everything. So that's been really an experience, and making me feel a lot more calmer about things. So that's something that I do enjoy as of right now, just having fun with it. So that's been helping me out a lot. So I noticed, in terms of that, I've been a lot more calmer and more relaxed, and it's teaching me a lot too, about life and other things, and rethinking things. Things you thought that were really cool a long time ago aren't so cool, and then you go through this whole change with a lot of things over time, especially like with movie, TV shows, or things that you like in general and everything. It definitely is a ride, and I do have my own goals now. I never really had goals before. Now I'm actually going to have goals. I know HRT is very important to me. I want to be able to have that happen and be on that at some point. And I learned that it takes a lot of time. It doesn't happen overnight, so you can change with different things little by little, it seems, and it take you a year, longer than a year, and then you would feel the full effects over time. So I look forward to that. I'm actually really excited about that, and just trying to get best educated and everything, and learning about being trans and what it means, and being able to see the famous people and everything that have been trans, and learning about their experiences and everything, and how long that it has been, and how way back that we actually go. It's really fun learning about them, and just being able to see those really cool people being able to talk about their experiences and everything, be inspired. That definitely helps. So most of the things I basically did talk about is what I really want to talk about. I really wanted to have things be longer, but I'm sure over time. So if you want to see more of an update, more updated version each time, especially if I go on HRT, I'll try to do that. I'll see what I can do there, and then update on maybe dating life or just life changes, especially on that. Maybe deal with that, and you also want to make sure that you're safe too. At the same time, being able to talk about things with people that you trust. That's definitely very important. I think that should be one of the main things too, making sure you know who you're going to, and even if it's just a gender therapist or going to the LGBTQ plus center, if you have one, that would definitely come in handy. I think too as well. So, do your research and being able to make sure you're happy and make sure you're with the right people and that things become clearer. I know coming out is different for everybody. I know it was for me, and being able to tell others. I wish I told more of my family, but I feel like I didn't really have to. So that made it a little bit more easier, and still trying to get more educated and tell them more myself over time when I feel more comfortable. But I feel like it would be a little bit more easier being less afraid on that and not worry about judgment or hate or things like that. So I am working on that and being able to explain things the best I can. I don't really explain things fully well, but I am working on that, so that would definitely help out too over time and as things progress. So I think I touched bases on everything. So again, I'm sorry if this is a short episode for the podcast in general. Again, I will touch more full-on bases on it, but just a little bit of the things here and there that I've learned over time. But things are getting better, especially in presenting myself more and being able to learn to be more confident, being able to go out now, and it helps me feel better, and I don't really feel so much of the judgment and everything. I know most of it is from myself over time. It just seems to be going away little by little. I have it sometimes, but not as much as I used to, and I can dress in women's clothes just fine and not worry about what others are thinking. And even when I do, I just try and step out of it and just realize that it's not so much them, it's more so me on that part. And even if they are judging, it's not really worth worrying about what they're thinking about, as long as I'm happy the most and things like that. In terms of bathrooms, I know I didn't really touch bases on that. I'm still working on that. Trying to find a confidence on that. So being able to deal with the women's bathroom, but even if it's more so of all gender bathroom, that makes it even a lot more easier for me just to be able to feel more better and comfortable going in that bathroom as well. So I wish it was more like that, especially when you try on clothes like at Old Navy. They're basically all gender changing rooms, so I wish we had that everywhere. Hopefully one day, but as of right now, Old Navy is awesome for that, so definitely one of my favorite stores to go to, especially for shopping and everything. And I always mainly shop online. I still basically do, but going there, being able to try on clothes and everything actually helps. In terms of what you want to wear and everything, you get ideas, and I'm sure if you want to get measured and all that stuff, they'll definitely help you. I definitely will try that at one point. Haven't tried it yet, but it's getting there little by little, and it's really interesting how things work that way. So but in terms of that, I think that's basically everything else. Whatever else I didn't get to touch bases on, I'll do an update on if you really are interested in that. And definitely, like I said, do your research, check out some cool people on YouTube or whatever else you can do, like read books, definitely, for sure, and don't be afraid to actually get help in talking with a gender therapist or go to a center and things like that, and build up that support, and that would help out a lot, I think, and is my best advice on that, without sounding too mean or anything like that. So again, I want to be more of a positive influencer on that and help others out, since I didn't really fully have that. For me, it was just YouTube and trying to learn from other people, basically. So I want to be able to be there that I can, the most I can, and be able to help you out. So if you have any questions or concerns, things like that, I'll be happy to explain the best I can. I am on Twitter. I do have my main account as well, basically for my project, and so in the Hot Seat Podcast on Twitter as well. So there is a way to actually contact me, so don't be afraid to, and I'll be happy to help. Until then, hopefully you guys enjoy your holidays for Christmas coming up, New Year's, and it's crazy how fast things have been able to transpire that way. It just keeps on going, flying by. So hopefully you had a really good 2021, and I tried to make sure I made the most of it, and I actually did enjoy it, definitely, for sure. And looking forward to 2022, setting some more goals that you most likely see, of course, more with the podcast, non-wrestling related and wrestling related, so a mixture of both, and pop culture right here. So I do appreciate the support and everything that you were able to give me. So I will be back more for 2022. Until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video and the next podcast, whatever the hell the next podcast may be. Until then, I'll catch you guys then. See ya and peace.